you talking about? What are you talking about? Good morning, beloveds. Okay. So on Monday night, I went to a website and looked at knee braces. Now, I do not have what society considers normal size legs. And so knee braces, and I can't just walk into a store and buy one. And this advertisement kept popping up in my thing, and I was just like, fine. So finally, but I looked at it and I was like, they had a wait, and I was like, this is not going to work out well for me because I've done this before. But unfortunately, you know how when you're online and you click on one ad, then it starts showing you, oh, well, what about this one? And what about this one? And what about this one? And so this other one had measurements. And so I ordered one, and they came on Thursday, and I put them on Thursday night. I have to put them on first thing in the morning. So I put them on this morning, and went to the park, and went for a walk, and they're pretty amazing. So we'll see. I think, I need to go back and look at what, last week in the park, because it looks like my pace was a whole lot better. And I haven't looked at any of my pictures, so I don't know if I got anything. I know there's some good squirrel pictures. The blue jays they swarmed us early, and then we didn't see them at all on the second loop. So it was weird. But interestingly enough, my third mile was actually my fastest mile. So that was really cool. Of course, it was also the less distracted mile. There weren't as many squirrels. And apparently today, I think I'm going to... it's glasses on, glasses off. Yeah. Okay, so it is August 27th. Our title is Today I Speak My Word. The first quote is... They are in one mind, and who can turn them? And that is Job 23:13. The second quote, the mind, then, is not separated off from God's essentiality, but is united unto it as light to the sun. And that is from the writings of Hermes, which means this is an Ernest Holmes. Okay, Emerson also tells us that there is one mind common to all individual people. It is this eternal mind which we use. The mind of God must be peace, joy, and perfection. We enter into this divine state of being in such degree as our own thoughts are peaceful, joyous, and perfect. To practice the presence of God is to think in terms of perfection and wholeness. Such practice must result in the fulfillment of every right desire. Hermes writes that our mind is united to God's essence as light is united to the sun. That is, we are as individual rays of the universal light. And the Upanishad tells us that everything is born from mind, lives in it and by it. We live in mind, and our thoughts go out unto mind to be fulfilled. This is the principle of spiritual mind healing and demonstration. Each one individualizes this universal mind in a unique and personal way. This is our divine inheritance, but we must have drawn too lightly upon it, not fully realizing, as Jesus did, the limitless significance of our relationship with the infinite. Today, I enter into my divine companionship more fully. I speak my word of good, knowing that it will not return unto me void, because it bears the peace and joy and perfection that is of God. I rightly accomplish and prosper as I persistently keep my desires in accord with God's nature. Well, already then. To practice the presence of God. Practice. There are holy people out in the world who don't have to practice the presence of God because they literally are the presence of God. They know that. That is who our teachers are. That is the secret that Jesus knew, and that is the secret that Jesus came to. One of the secrets. Well, that was interesting. Okay, so that was one of the secrets that Jesus came to teach, is the practicing of the present. And we practice the presence because we don't live it. We don't live it 24/7. I would argue that there are people that do. Jesus being chief among them, which is why we call him the master teacher. He practiced the presence because he knew who he was. He knew not only that he was a beloved child of God, but he also knew that he was an individualization of the divine mind. He knew that the mind that he was using was the mind of God, because he would say, and I'm going to use the colloquial term that he did, not I, but the Father within me. So it's not my power, but God's power. I'm not the one doing this. It is God's power through me doing this. What I am doing is creating a conscious channel for that divine power, that divine mind, that divine presence to enter into the material realm. And that is exactly what each and every one of us can do. We are channels for the divine mind, for the divine presence, for the divine power into the material realm. The material realm is made of, by, and for the divine. We get to live here. We get to be that divine channel that brings that presence into this material reality. But the way to do it is to do it consciously. Because when we do it unconsciously, interesting things happen. Now, when we do it consciously, interesting things happen too, but there's a difference in the emphasis. So it's up to us to practice the presence, to recognize who we are, to recognize that we are divine channels, to recognize that our purpose, dare I say, our purpose is to bring that presence in, to channel that presence into the world in the infinite variety of ways that we do. There's no right way to do it, just like there's probably not technically a wrong way to do it. Although we might have an argument about, we might have some points of contentions there about that. So, you know, that was what Jesus came to do. Jesus came to say, hey, you know what? Take some time out of your day, practice the presence, and then look at all of the amazing things that you can do. We can create a world that works for everyone when we know who we are, when we let other people be who they are, when we practice that presence and know that we are beloved children of God, recognize that we are divine channels, and that through us amazing things can happen. That right there, through us, amazing things can happen. One of the things that we say in Science of Mind, and I don't know where we got it from, probably Emerson, because Ernest just took a wholesale from Emerson, is that God can do for us what God can do through us. We are the divine channels. We are what brings that presence into the material reality. And we do it consciously, we do it unconsciously, and that's how things happen. And so when we take the time to practice the presence, and he's very specific. He's very specific. Hang on, let me grab these glasses really quick. Ugh. It was nice to hear that my eye was fully healed, but it's just like, now that when you do the other one, what's going to happen? Peaceful, joyous, and perfect. Peaceful, joyous, and perfect. And remember, when you hear the word perfect, it means whole. Okay? It means whole. It means all inclusive. It doesn't mean flawless. So just set that to the wayside. So when we go into our treatments, when we go into our meditations, when we just take that moment of breath, then today our watchwords are peaceful, joyous, and perfect. Peaceful, joyous, and whole. That is how we practice the presence. And if we are anything other than that, then we are not practicing the presence. So we want to ground, center, bring our mind back to peaceful, joyous, and whole. And yeah, I would argue, I would say, I like to argue. But when I say argue, it's like, I like to debate. It's not argue. I don't have to be right. But I want to hear, some points. So I would say that our mission today, Our mission today is to practice the presence of God, understand that we are using the divine mind, and use the words peaceful, joyous, and whole. Okay. You can use perfect if you want to. Perfect's one of my trigger words. So anytime I hear perfect, what I hear is whole. So as we move through the day, then we check ourselves. We can check ourselves and go, okay, am I peaceful? Am I joyous? Am I whole? Am I incorporating that whole experience? And therein, we're practicing the presence. And the more we practice the presence, and it's an argument, it's of creating that groove. You know, we talk about ruts. Ruts can be a bad thing because they can be hard to get out of. But what we want to do is we want to create a groove. We want to create a groove that's easy to fall into, because the easier it is to fall into, the more likely it will be a first response. And what better first response can you have than peaceful, joyous, and whole? Because those are just another word for loving, kind, and compassionate. You know, we can get down into the semantics of this, but we don't have to. We can just simply know, we're practicing the presence. So that, I would say, is your mission, to practice the presence of the divine mind. And that looks like peaceful, joyous, and whole. What do those words mean to you? All right. So that's your mission. The other one is the same one. Like I said, if we're going to practice the presence, one of the ways we can do that is by practicing, by doing something loving for ourselves, by doing something compassionate for ourselves, by doing something, kind. All my words mixed up today. And whatever that looks like. And today that's going to look like sunscreen. Because we got a food market today. And we've moved. We've been on the 9th grade campus for a long time. So we're moving to the elementary school, which is it's one stop, depending on if you're coming north. If you're coming north, it's one stop earlier. It's one turn earlier. And if you're coming south, it's one more turn. Hopefully there will be shade. This in August. So my loving, kind, and compassionate thing for myself is sunscreen. I will be putting that on shortly, but I got to feed myself first. So, this is what I know. So practice that loving, kind, compassionate, whatever that looks like for you. I'm all discombobulated. I probably just need to go and eat. So loving, kind, compassionate, practice on yourself. Create that habit, create that default setting. That is definitely one way that you can practice the present. A loving act, a kind act, a compassionate act is always a divine presence moment. You are practicing the divine presence, especially when you are practicing on yourself or when you are practicing on other people. The food market that we do with the Montgomery County Food Bank in the Tamina area is loving, kind, and compassionate. And it is loving, kind, and compassionate for everybody involved, okay? We definitely get something out of it because we are being of service to our fellow beings. And then, we feed people. How much more loving, kind, and compassionate can you get? All right. Other than creating a place where they don't need that kind of service. I'm down for that too. That was what Rafe was talking about on the soul session. Okay, I need to stop. So, loving, kind, compassionate, practice it on yourself. Remember, peaceful, joyous. Enjoy life. We are meant to enjoy it. And whole. So, as always, I do encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body, to drink plenty of water. I'm going to take 2 water bottles with me, even though I know that they're providing water bottle. I'm going to have ice. I got to get that, hot thing too. Okay. Sorry. Being distracted. Drink plenty of water. Get that early in your day bright light, and open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around you all the time. It is an inside out job. As I told somebody, she went, I like that. Happiness is an inside job. Heaven is an inside job. Starts here, and then we create it out there. And we create it out there by channeling the divine presence. Can I bring myself back to my point? Yes, I can. All right, beloveds. If you want to know what's going on at the center, email info@creativelife.org. We are on all of the social medias. We had a fantastic soul session. I would thoroughly encourage you to go watch and share. And yeah, it's wonderful. And there was something else, and I don't remember what it was. So follow us on the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I will be posting from the food market today. Yay. I just need to stop talking. So have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, an enchanting day, a magical day, a catter day. They won't get as much of my attention today as usual, so I'll just have to make extra time for them tomorrow. Catter day. And know that you're loved. Have a good day. If that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. You are a divine channel for God to move through this world. You literally can answer other people's prayers. And you don't even know. You don't even know. That's the amazing thing. We get to answer people's prayers all the time. So, okay. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. and then we'll have an amazing service for you. I think we're wrapping up. Yeah, we'll be wrapping up the What Flavors You series. It's been an interesting series, but Jesse's always good. So join us. Or catch us on YouTube later. All right, beloveds. Know that you're loved. I will see you next time.